Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer1745 here. We're in the post-conquest era of Britain. We are now preparing to continue to advance further. Still got to get the Faroe Islands. Good, we've won over here. Then we'll go back over to Spain. Unfortunately, by giving up, we've also lost. By giving over to Japan, we also lost some of this territory. Our Marines over here. A few of you are concerned that we need to prepare against a U.S. Marine invasion of Japan. I'm not entirely convinced that that is the best scenario to do. The other option is, of course, to continue to try to push the Allies, particularly the U.S. Oh good, someone's hitting them over here along their supply line to Australia. To keep them off balance by going on the offensive instead of sitting back. I have in previous games, so I don't know how it's been rebalanced. These are lots of units here. But in late era games, the U.S. Marines just pounding into Japan, and Japan's soldiers able to do nothing about it because of all of the bonuses. Wow, that's a lot of units. The U.S. Marines were just basically Uber Marines. The only thing that I was able to do to save Japan, and I was able to save Japan in that case, was move some good high-end Panzer divisions into Japan, not just some Marines and light infantry and those types. But we needed to move in some Panzer units, some heavy units, and they were able to defeat the Marines. So I don't know how much of an island hopping campaign or try to take New Guinea or something like that away from them as a distraction to keep them distracted from going into Japan. But right now we're going to continue with sending this up here. We're going to get troops. We're going to go here, here, here. We are also working down here. Okay, ammunition capacity, that I believe is for fighters here. Reduce a little speed, increase your attack and defense. Now let's stick them here for the moment. There. Display priority. Let's see. We need a good Luftwaffe general here. This is the Hermann Göring unit. Let's see now. Get a little insight into it. I have to do this off camera. Could look it up. Go on to Wikipedia and look up who the to this Smalls. Panzer Commander. So I'm scanning down here, bringing one with a Panzer Leader trait, and then going, Stumpf. This is the school. Kampfgruppe Schul Hermann. I gather, without really knowing. Then we can put Schmalz in charge of this. And this was maybe more of an emergency unit that was formed at some point. Panzer Grenadier Brigade, yeah, but because eventually they emptied out the schools and put them into both the trainers and the students into combat formations, because you know, if the school's going to be overrun, why, you know, get them out there fighting. This already moving now. It is. Also sending out. Yeah. Großdeutschland Corps. But we were also, like I was cutting down here. Okay, now. Board the transports. Okay. Let's head back over here to rebase. Sure. Now we're going to head after Brazil, but we don't want to do it with just 2 mountain divisions. And we need a little more escorts. And these guys. And I hope we're mostly safe to get here along the coastal routes. They still have some ships here that they could run into, but I guess we're going to risk it. Now where's my... Don't I have a... There we go, Groff's Bay. You're going to go from convoy raiding to escort duty there. After a very long career. And let's also get organized. Yeah. This one longer range. He's alright for temporary command. We'll see who we organize up into later. We're going to create our sort of southern invasion escort type group for the South Atlantic. Now we can work over here. one game I played some time ago, the Allies invaded Murmansk when I had some garrisons up here. But because of some of the fortress stuff and the winter terrain, it was an excellent place to train up divisional commanders because they would invade, and they did it like 3 or 4 times, and they were pretty strong invasions, but they didn't really cause very many casualties at all, and the units just, particularly the generals, just sat there and gained trait after trait after trait. Sure, we'll give them supplies. So it was a training bonus. Okay, well, let's see, we're going to need more transports. And let's want another pocket pulse ship, just one. A couple of more destroyers. Just two. It's sort of like this situation here. You've got Rengel. Look at all those traits, like the old Von Thomas kind of thing. And 6, and now he's going to pull him out temporarily at least. But some of these battles just go on for a long time with little actual casualties, so they're not hugely costly. But they just train up. Take forever. Okay, well, let's see. Okay, destroyer crew training. And damage control, yes, we like damage control. That, of course, helps a lot more than just destroyers. It's all basically a light force. That's a very worthy one to do. Uh-oh. They finally got our submarine. I was done with the naval battle. Well, that was worth, I think, the cost of, and that reminds me, there's still significant use for submarines, so. Also make more midget submarines so they'll have to go fast and improve our practicals. Still want to keep the US pared back. And if the Atlantic is no longer the good place to do it, we can do it in the Pacific. Oh good, the Japanese have launched another invasion. Good for them! Because they tried down here and then that got messed up. But good for them. This is the, I believe, the capital of Great Britain now, in Makassar. That's the capital, and it's English territory here, so how interesting. Or you can go back and get it prepared. Finland energy, yes, of course. You can have supplies as well. Well, the U.S. is got some British type some things invading up here. Okay, well, these forces were turned over to the U.S. I don't know. Okay, good. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna take him. That's a weak division. That's a good one. Another good one, the ski troops. Let's do that, these guys as well. In there in a moment. Okay, well, let's take this one, I guess, as well. So, we want to go to here. Now, we need a supply. No, we could have just gone up. Let's go to scrap the flow. Let's cancel this later. Move out to there. We want to go here. That's all. That's in supply. That's close enough to get to there. No, what was that? Attack ground crew training. Okay, 41's a decent date for right now. We'll do jet. Destroyer armor rates. we don't need to do that anymore at all. Okay. Some anti-submarine improvements. Yes. Food selling, yes. Salt ship flotillas have advanced. That actually... Yeah, so we're using these landing craft. We could go over to, we could build some of these. Is that right? Yeah, landing craft. So we can build, so we will build. We'll put them in the production queue at least. That's good. That's 4 of those. Yeah, I know we got a lot of stuff, but we also got a bunch of these guys. Maybe a bunch of these, and some of these. And these are going to be getting out of the queue very quickly here. As well as some of them. So, yeah, we'll let that go. That also increases the range, which is nice. And destroyer main armament has advanced, and that means we're not going to do any more of that. We'll go over to the hedgehog. Yeah, this isn't such an oh, there's some submarines I should get out there, but this isn't such an exciting episodes. But in a long series like this, not every episode can be a winner. Hope it isn't completely boring, but I know it ain't the most dramatic. Okay, so we've got this for Spain here. Okay, so we clear it out. We should probably stick a police unit or something down here. I'm sure revolt risk will get high at some point without being well occupied. Okay. Leave your current headquarters. Where's it good? Yeah, so there's where we wanna. There we go. Close enough for the moment, but they should probably be ready to move further forward. No, along. These guys. Yeah. I want them to come there too. Damn. They weren't in the right spot. But oh well. We don't need them right at the moment. Full up, so. Looks like a good invasion force. Let's go for it. I think that's strong enough to deal with any navy in the region, though of course we may run into a huge doom stack of US carrier might or something that could happen. Of course, my other idea, we're just trying this out of course, is to use our long-range transports to paradrop into a place like the Faroes here. If I start to at all think I should get some reconnaissance out there, I'm going to do that next time. I'm just being lazy here. Okay, it looks like they're not that strong. One battle. The islands, not necessarily for the sea around it. Okay. Now, airbase, radar, anti-aircraft gun, and basic pillbox just to keep them from counter-invading too rapidly. Don't know why they use a picture for Niagara Falls, because I presume that's Niagara Falls. Here, that looks, unless that's Zambezi or something like that, but the Zambezi Falls, but I think that's Niagara Falls. I also notice Kirkness. Is that really that industrial? Maybe, I don't know. That looks right, but I don't know, is there really an industry up at Kirk? I'm saying it Kirkness like is in Scotland, but is that Kirkness, I guess? Maybe Kirkness? Nah. Okay. HMS Revenge is the British loss. Ski Jaeger Brigade. SS Falsamy. Oh, well. Well, the picture is ski Jaegers. That's their Jaeger symbol with a ski across it. And First Ski Jaeger Brigade is the title, but the description is SS Folsom Jaeger Battalion 500 carry out a jump at the parachute school in November. This often used in anti-partisans as a fire brigade. Took part in the Ardennes offensive. So I think the description is wrong because it says Ski Jaeger Brigade deployment. So not that we won't have the SS, but I think we're getting Ski Jaegers. Let's find out. Yeah, Ski Jaegers. Yep. For Ski Jaegers. We don't want him. No leader for the moment. Are we? Somewhere here in Germany. Okay, well, let's... send you over here. Okay, send you where you'll be useful. Agriculture. Since we are at war, the supply with food came missing. Lose money? Yes, okay, this is buying tractors or something basically, I guess. Gaining supplies, manpower, expand the farm industry, national manpower. Yes, we want to do that. Okay, the 19th Army Commando. Yes, we want that. We'll take that. And we'll take the 10th. No thank you. That is the Kampfgruppe School HG is disbanding according to this because of they did sort of design these to die after a while. I'm not entirely in favor of that, as you can tell. I'm especially not in favor of that when I just put it down on the map, and sure, I may have had it happen significantly later than it happened historically. But I like Kampfgruppes, and I sort of agree that we shouldn't be able to build them because we could just endlessly build lots of them and get too many Uber units. I probably built a few more commando units than I should have been able, because obviously you can put everybody through a commando school, you know, through the well, the SAS were sort of forming up in Africa, and I don't know if they had schools at this time, but there were various commando schools and Darby's Rangers. You can put everybody through it, and everybody who survives can be a commando. That doesn't mean that they all qualify, meaning they all can run up and down the mountain enough times, or whatever. You know, that part of the idea for at least the early part of a commando school is a selection course, is that you figure you need 500 students, you sort of have 5,000 recommended soldiers come and try out, and you just pick the 500 best, even if, say, 1,000 or 2,000 may meet the minimum qualifications. You just end up taking the 500 best. Is part of what makes commando. So you can, but like I say, but if you only, you know, you figure out what the basic minimums are before the thing, they may all make the basic minimums, but they may or may not end up being all in it, is what part of what makes it an elite. So there is a balance point between how many you bring into a formations like that versus your selection. Sort of like you can train everybody to be paratroopers. You know, it's not that hard to fall out of a damn airplane. Especially the Germans had a sort of very acrobatic type maneuver. You sort of leapt out of it, but the Western, the Allies, you just sort of, you know, fall out of it. That doesn't mean that everybody can be equal to those that they sort of went through the selection course and trained up to be the airborne. It just means that they you can train everybody to be airborne if you so desire, whether they, you know, half of them have to be shoved out the door or not, and other things, and whether once they got on the ground would they all perform in a dedicated fashion. And that's another question. So there's a balancing. Now what I did do there is I renamed the actual brigades by putting another A in the title, so it wasn't removed. A little bit of cheating, not too much, because in a way I do believe I paid for it, and I'm not giving them up that quick. Okay, yeah, we'll take this because these are cheap manpower, just only 500 supplies to gain garrison divisions, presumably mostly here in France, but we can use them other places. Okay, disaster for the British. Okay, shouldn't that have happened a long time ago? Singapore? Is it because it's happened to because it's now turned over to the Japanese? Is probably what it is. That event probably happens when control equals Japan and not control equals Axis. Maybe something should be looked into that with that black ice guys. Okay, yes, of course you can have energy. So yeah, let's see. Do we just? So we're gonna send him over to here. We're gonna maybe use him as part of a. Now, some of you guys, I think, have been, particularly these units, have been wanting me to convert them to other formations. You know, standard infantry divisions. At least that's what I'm understanding some of the questions to be. But if you look at this is just a garrison battalion with some rocket artillery, which is actually a much larger formation, and some anti-aircraft guns. You can upgrade these things, but some of those upgrades will be costly, and they're sort of hardly worth it. These guys are not upgradable because I think by design, so that you don't get them sort of for free or cheap, because they're cheap. Because they're also sort of, I'm pretty sure the idea is only 500 supplies. Is that they're taking a lot of like French rifles and artillery and other captured equipment and just giving them to German soldiers and putting them in as a, you know, without the because these units have terrible movement speeds, without all the supporting regular elements of a proper division. So they're worth it to set up for a defensive formation, but they're not supposed to be cheaply reorganized into proper divisions to go on the offensive. Okay, well, let's see. We've got a lot of these coming, but we're going to build some more. Because I also want to put some out on St. Helena, Session, Islands, to help control the supply routes. And I want to did we capture that now? Okay, I want to have very soon here. Already got these guys out here. This whole northern scope starting to be covered by my airstriking craft like that, so that they make operations difficult against my transports and subs. Okay, good. Scale down civilian production. Okay, that Spear, I don't know who that is right offhand, and that may be Porsche, Ferdinand Porsche? No, that's, is that Ribbentrop? It looks like Ribbentrop, maybe, I don't know. Okay, let's see. Portion of military spending in the German economy began growing rapidly after 1942, and the Nazi government was forced to dedicate more and more of the country's economic resources to fight a losing war. The civilian factories were converted to military use and placed under military administration. From mid-43 onward, Germany switched to a full war economy overseen by Albert Speer. By late 1944, almost the entire German economy was dedicated to military production. The result was a dramatic rise in military production, with an increase by 2 or 3 times the vital goods like tanks and aircraft. Despite the intensifying Allied air campaign, the loss of territory and factories, restaurants and other services were closed to focus on the German war economy, German economy on military needs. The increase in production was insufficient to match the Allies in any category of production. Very true. Some production was moved underground in an attempt to put it out of reach of Allied bombers. Okay, scale down. or all as well as it is. Okay, let's see. Well, we would increase rare materials, which could be a problem, but we happen to own a lot of exotic territory, including Russia, but we still own some of it out here with rare materials. And an increase in supplies, but an increase in consumer goods, which would mean we'd have to do some of that. But generally speaking, I want to already go no, because we're doing fine. We don't need emergency wartime pleasure. Let's open up a few more cafes in Paris for the German soldiers to hang out in. I mean, that's where I'm at this point. I mean, I wouldn't be frivolous in starting to open up a lot of like civilian airline companies or something like that. We keep this sensible. Okay, and mentioning keeping things sensible. Well, presume it still exists. Haven't used it in a while. Yes. Now they're still over here in Japan. Well, let's see. Okay, they're still not building their air base yet, but we'll rebase you over there. So I want to recon the next operation a little better for as we get closer and closer to the U.S. and everything. Gotta be more careful. Okay, destroyer engines have advanced. That's good. Again, 44, so we're stopping that. These all upgrading. They're all upgrading. Submarine fire control, that would be useful. So we'll do that. HMS Burma's lost. Okay, military hero has emerged. As generally, we're going for the 100 manpower. Here's Group F Commando. Okay, they're really getting ready. I mean, these are great. If we hadn't taken Britain and we were still in Russia, these would be super useful. But a little manpower, officers, supplies, we'll take that. Okay, I'm having quite fun with this, but I think we need to end this episode here, just to keep it from going too long. So thanks so much for watching. Please post comments. Love hearing from you. Thanks for liking the videos. See you next time.